Welcome to the show.
I'm Faleena Hopkins.
And I'm Richard Cascioli.
And we are also on video, so find us with the link. We're on the YouTube. Just do a search for Hey Now, and you will see our smiling faces.
That's exactly right.
Are we smiling today?
Yes, we are. It's a good day in the neighborhood.
It's my turn to drop a topic on Richard. And our next episode, we're going to have a guest that we're very excited about. So stay tuned for that as well. And let's see. Here is my topic. Are you ready?
Always.
No, you're not. Are you? Yes, you are. All right, here we go. Oh. Do you wait for a while after you started dating someone to sleep with them?
Absolutely. That's just my thing, though, for sure. I have
now, what is a while to you? Oh, no, finish your thought. You said, I have this.
The way I conduct myself in a relationship now and have always kind of is, and I learned this back in the day through, interestingly enough, we had this conversation before, but when I was in our podcast,
we did?
No, not about this, but what I'm about to say, we had a discussion about, and it came up. So, and what I was saying is, back in the day when I was in college, I thought to myself, how could I be a better partner? How could I be a better mate for someone? And you don't know what you don't know. And men certainly don't know women, and women certainly don't know men, but we think we do. So we kind of make assumptions. And I think that's wrong. So what I did was I started picking up and reading Cosmopolitan magazine in college so that I would read the articles on things that dealt with relationships, like chivalry and how to conduct yourself in a relationship and how to be, just a good person as far as what is right and wrong. For instance, some of the things that I think a lot of people make mistakes in, men especially, is when, for instance, I'm going to answer your question, but when you
are answering the question.
When you go to pick up a woman, so many guys will sit out in the street and honk the horn and be like, "Come on, I'm here." The way I was raised by old-fashioned Italian men, and we were raised to always respect women and treat them with the utmost respect. So when you go to pick up a woman, number one, you don't sit out in the street and beep the horn. You park the car and you go up to the door and you ring the door, knock on the doorbell, knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and you go and pick her up.
Now explain why that's good.
Well,
because I know why that's good, but I know because you read those articles, you figured it out too. Why is that good?
Well, maybe not. I don't know what your answer. Tell me, what is your answer?
Oh. Because a woman feels a little special when the guy's standing
Absolutely,
at the door.
100%.
Especially because when you're sitting in the car, it's hard for you to see what we put together when we got ready.
Well,
you're standing at the door, and we open the door. There's like a reveal moment.
Absolutely, and there's my second point. My second point that men do not do. I'm not saying all men don't do it.
All men.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to blanket that, but I do know that men don't do this as well. And another thing, and men should, listen to this, so should women. But another thing is what you just said. You go to the door, not only do you get the meet and greet, but you compliment a woman. Wow, you look nice. That's a beautiful dress.
She put a lot of time
I like what you did with your hair. I like your lipstick, your nail polish. So what you're doing is you're acknowledging the fact that a woman because women spend a lot of time getting ready for a date. Men are different. We just, not that we don't care, but when we don't have as many things to do and take care of ourselves
I think that's what it is.
As a female does.
Right.
So when a woman takes the time to get herself dolled up to go on a date and maybe go buy a dress, gets her hair done or does her hair, her nails, her lipstick, whatever, acknowledge that. It's a simple acknowledgement to say, wow, you look pretty. That's a beautiful dress, or your hair, your nails, your lips, whatever. And then the third part of this is when you walk to the car, you open the passenger door for her. You don't go and get in the car and start the car and then, unlock the door by like, okay, get in. these are all chivalry things. These are all things that.
Okay, get in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you get in the car, you start the car, you pop the lock. You're like, what are you doing? And but see, here's the thing that a woman could do and I don't necessarily feel you should have to train your partner or whatever. But in some instances, little hints will help. So, for instance, in that case, if a guy was to get in the car, first of all, if a guy's going to sit out in the street and beep the horn, a woman needs to text him and say, what am I, cardboard? Get out of your car and come to the door. You know what I mean?
Is that your best suggestion?
Yeah.
What am I, cardboard?
Get out of your car and come to the door, for crying out loud. Secondly, if you do go to the car and the guy goes around to get in the car, you stand out there and wait for him to get the fuck back out of the car and come and open the door for you. I just think this is important. It's important to me.
There's ways to do it. There's ways to do it too if you're a woman and you want to do it where you're not going to possibly cause him to be defensive. As you can say, can you come? You could actually.
Would you mind opening my door for me?
Oh no, I meant if they come up to if they're honking.
Oh,
you could say. Why don't you come to the door? I want to reveal. I
want to show you something.
I want to show you something.
And then
he's like,
this intrigue.
Then he's intrigued,
Ooh,
and it's rather than what am I cardboard might cause a little bit of a bad start to the day.
No, I'm being facetious.
Because some people like to be told that. Some do. So it's like, I'm not even kidding. Like some people would rather, they'd be like, haha, that's funny. And he'd come out, I'm sorry.
But that's absolutely right. A man might take a little bit of offense.
He might, but he might not. If you're the kind of woman who talks like that, then your guy's probably going to like that. Maybe.
Well,
so you never know. You just never know.
Right. You got to know your audience.
And if you do it, please write to us and let us know.
Yeah, try it out.
Do the comments, tell us in the comments.
On both sides, try it out. The men, try something different. Take a contrary action. Be the gentleman. And when I tell you this goes a long way, it goes a long way. So then
that's why you do it. See, you do it because it's right, but also tell what happens.
Well, right. One, I think it's right. It's a respectful thing, but it goes a long way because it allows the woman to know that you really care about her and you're taking the time to accommodate her needs. But for me, it's not. I don't want to say it's not about the woman. It is. But for me, it's more about me. It's the way I was raised. This is the way I think men are supposed to act in the world. You be chivalrous. You be a gentleman. You step up to the plate when you're supposed to.
I agree.
It's the same thing when you're walking down the street. Say you go to the restaurant, you park the car. If you don't valet, you park the car, and you're walking to the restaurant. A man, you always take the side of the street that faces the cars and the street. The woman goes on the inside. And
why is that?
Because it's a protection thing.
That's exactly right.
You're
a lot of people
showing.
Don't know that. Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, wait. Let me answer your question.
In a second. Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer your question, how long do I take? I'll tell you a little scenario. I remember one woman, and I do this with everyone I date. But I remember this one woman, I waited.
And if you have dated Richard, please put it in the comments that he did indeed do this.
Yeah. We were into a relationship, I want to say maybe a couple of months. And I remember I was down here on Franklin Avenue at one of the restaurants. We had just gotten done eating, nice meal. We come home, we're driving back here. I was living here and we're driving back. And the woman I had been dating, and I courted her. We went on quite a few dates because now we're into this a couple of months. And she turned to me and out of the blue just said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you like me?" And I said, "Absolutely. Why?" She goes, "Well, you haven't tried to make a move on me." And I said, "Oh, no, time out." I said, "That is up to you." I said, "You're the woman. You let me know when you're ready." She goes, "That's what you were waiting for?" I said, "Absolutely." So we got home and she practically fell over herself running up the stairs. Yeah, let's go. But here's the thing. If you're a man and you take the time to really court a woman and don't, but if you take the time to let a woman know that you care about her. See, but here's the thing.
Here's the thing is I like the guy to make the first move, but I like him to take some time.
Well,
it depends. It really depends.
Look, I'm not saying you got to take a couple of months, a couple of weeks, whatever.
And wasn't there a person in Palm Springs, who you had a beautiful evening with.
Yeah, that was different.
That was different.
Well, because that wasn't a dating situation.
Yeah,
that wasn't
things.
a courting.
I know things.
Yeah, that wasn't a courting situation.
Right.
That was a situation.
We meet out somewhere else where we don't live, and that happens differently.
Well, that was a question of I may never see you again in my life.
I know. So
and once again, though,
how are you doing?
Yeah, right. But once again, this woman too said, "Do you want to take me back to my room?" You know, and
she took the step.
She took the step.
See, this is the thing: is like you look like rah, but you're such a kind person. Like you what's the word? It's not necessarily kind. Patient, compassionate. Like you give a fuck.
Well, I believe
in
yes, I believe in number one, caring about somebody. You show that through your actions. You show that through your words, but you definitely will let someone know. I mean, again, with this situation I'm talking about, she was like, do you like me? Of course I do. But I said to her, I said, I didn't want you to feel, because there's a lot of this out there that, women feel men just want to pretty much hang out and have sex.
Well, some of them do.
And some of them do.
And some of them do with us.
And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong to any of this.
There was one of the things about, no. But some people want that with you, and if they only want that with you, it's because they don't want more. And it's good to know that. But that we can talk about that for another. I want to go back to some of the tips you were giving.
Yeah, well, I just always feel, for me, I'll keep the focus on myself. I feel for me that I am always better off being a gentleman and being an upfront person. I mean, I would never just attack a woman. I'm a little bit naive when it comes to that. Like sometimes I don't even know when a woman is actually hitting on me or making a pass at me because of the way I am. And I think, well, okay, you're being friendly. I can't tell you how many women.
She's all unbuttoning. You're like, you're being really friendly right now.
Yeah. And I like it, and I like it.
But what you were saying about it really it shows you care. I think because a lot of people go, well, why do I need to open the door for it? Why do I need to do this? Because it shows you care. And also because when a guy does care a lot, he shows you by things like that because he wants to. He's like, gosh, I never wanted to open doors before, but I feel like I want to for her because something has happened where they're invested. There's a thing, but other tips like that for guys. Well, because here's one of the things we were going to put a pin in. I can't remember what it was. We might come back to it.
Yeah. But
it was more of the tips on how to get somebody to come to the door if they don't. Oh, I was going to ask, now no honking to have them come down, but what about texting? So texting is kind of modern day honking, isn't it?
It's modern day honking.
It's modern day honking. Texting is modern day honking.
You're taking this stance that you're not important enough for me to get out of my freaking car, park my car, get out of my car and come. Now, how do you know?
What about if it's like crazy parking in that neighborhood?
But then you would hit them maybe with a text and say, hey, not for nothing, but I can't find parking. It's a little hectic. Would you mind coming down, or would you like me to continue to park?
And then you would stand outside the car and be there for the reveal rather than being in the car going, hey, get in.
Well, right. And you don't know if, here's the other scenario, right? What if you went to pick up a woman and you decided to stay in the car, beat whatever. But if you would have gotten out, she might have said, hey, you know what? Before we head off to the restaurant, would you like to come in for an aperitif, a drink, And
an aperitif meaning a drink. Panties.
Oh, well, you never know.
You never know.
You never.
And if you didn't come to the door, you just would never find out. Well, so we're saying that you got to go to the door just in case you're going to get a little something before you start.
No.
Could happen.
All I'm saying is
it has happened.
I always feel if you are a man, for me, I feel that if I take my time, if I get to, this is the other thing. I am a little different in this. I've heard this from women, but men are, like I said, men are more apt to jump into bed. It's just, it's our gender. It's our nature. It's just what we do. It's our DNA. But a woman likes to take her time. A woman likes to get to know you a little bit better. Again, 50-50. I think everything with women and men are 50-50.
Okay.
There is no blanket statement
know
that
some
women are this way, men are this way. No, it's all 50-50. There are a certain amount of women and men.
I would say it is more a majority of men. I think you're right to the majority, but there are definitely women.
But here's the other
right
thing.
in and be like, let's do this now.
And
there's sometimes you date a guy because he's not the long-term type, but he would be really fun for a couple nights. I know women who do that too.
Well, but
I have been one of those women.
Okay, again, no, but if we want to avoid, right, the confusion, because if that's what you want.
Oh, no, you make it clear.
You need to make it clear because.
Make it clear.
So to get into that a little bit is to, a lot of us, if you sleep with someone,
mm-hmm.
First of all, a man can sleep with someone and really have nothing on it, no feelings, whatsoever.
Right.
Whereas a woman, your hormones start kicking in, and it's a whole different thing when you are intimate with somebody. A woman gets a little bit more invested.
Not always. Not if you are prepared and you're not going to be. You will if you continue to sleep with them.
Yeah.
But I had a booty call. I don't know what we would call it.
Yesterday?
No.
Last night?
I
what?
wish. No, I had a booty call for 5 years.
Oh, hey, now.
He and I it was just the same guy. Whenever he and I were not with someone else, we'd call each other up. Hey, what are you doing? It was always the text.
Yeah.
What are you up to? What are you up to? And it's so simple. And because we were just different ages, and the incompatibility was just kind of there, but the chemistry was off the freaking charts, and we both respected each other, and years later both admitted we loved each other, just not in that way, that I love you. And he's like, wow, that's really amazing, because I feel exactly the same way about you. I just never would have thought you would have said that. And it was like, and it was just really very respectful, because you're both in it and you know what's going on. So I think you can do a lot of stuff if you're both totally conscious
and
of it.
Clear with one another.
Clear.
Because vice versa, there have been situations where a man is with a woman for some time, and she's got one motive in her head, and a man will get attached to a woman, and she's like, I never said we were dating. I never said this is just what it is. So, but that happens a lot in relationships, vice versa, because we're not clear. And I know this topic isn't about communication, but communication is extremely important in any relationship. To just allow the other person the dignity and the grace to know where you're coming from. And if you are the type of person, man or woman, that says, hey, you know what? I like you and I would like this to go further. I don't want to date anyone else. I want to be committed to you. Do you feel the same way? And if the other person says yes, great. If not, you have to respect that, because we're not going to change people. I don't think that happens. We don't get in relationships and then put this expectation that I'm going to change. Yes, but then that's where we get into trouble.
To stay on that point, though, communication, say that you both are on the same page,
right,
is key. And because it gives them the dignity, and also it prevents you having a meltdown with them later in a horrible, horrible fight because you weren't honest and you knew that they wanted something. But if you honestly don't know that they want something, or you want something and they don't, and it's all innocent, then a blow up is going to happen, maybe. But if you know, it's kind of best to have the conversation. And then you guys are on board.
You have to have boundaries, and you have to have parameters, and know where each person is, how invested they are, and what it is you're looking for and what you want out of the relationship.
And if you're okay with what they're willing to give, and vice versa.
And you have to say that, because if you don't, and you put an expectation on someone else, and then you get to a point where you're upset that they're not moving as fast as you, or where you're at, it's going to be upsetting, and it hurts both people, because then the other person could feel bad and say, I didn't know that's what you wanted, and I thought I was clear.
Oh, we could go into all of this.
Look, the hardest thing in any relationship, whether it's a friend, work, intimate relationship, is communication. We are a lot of times apt to people please because we don't want to hurt anyone else's feelings, or we don't want to hear the answer that we think.
Because then we might have to change our behavior.
Correct.
And not have what we're having. No. So back to why do you wait in the beginning? What are you
Well,
learning something about the person?
Yes.
Or
One, I want to, first of all, I'd like to get to know you.
but why? Like, what are you looking for with that?
Well,
And I don't mean the specific characteristics, but yeah, to get to know you is for what purpose?
well, a couple of things, to find out, one, if they're, a good person. It takes a while to really get to know somebody and to know their personality. And I don't think you're not going to do that within the first couple of months. People put on their best faces, masks, hats, whatever you want to call them, when they first show up to relationships. I personally, this is my own philosophy, but I don't think you know a person until you are at least 1 year into a relationship.
Do you wait
with somebody.
a year to have sex?
No. I'm not saying you wait a year to have sex, but I'm just saying as far as really knowing somebody, because then once you start to feel comfortable in a relationship, that's when your true colors come out. And that's when you start to reveal things that you don't even know you're revealing. It's just like it's a default, and you start to react a certain way because you've let your guard down and your comfort level comes in, and now you're being more you. You'll maybe say something or be sarcastic and the other person's like, wow, you were never sarcastic. Why all of a sudden? And it's an innate thing that we just do when we start to feel comfortable with someone or comfortable in a relationship. Another reason I wait is because, I want to know, I just think sometimes it's not, it just happens. But I personally like to wait because I have this thing with me. I need to feel really safe. And I need to feel comfortable with somebody. And I'm not trying to sound, I'm sure if there are men out there listening to this, they're going to be judging me or saying, what's wrong with you?
I've heard that from some guys.
But
I've had a lot of guy friends and a few of my boyfriends too. I mean, I've heard that. I need to feel safe. I mean, they can do, it doesn't, we don't get the actual things, but they need to feel safe. And I think partially that happens when you get a little older, because you've dealt with people who lose their nut, like just like go nutty on you, and you're like, okay, I need to make sure that this person isn't like, because here we're about to do something. And then they might just go crazy on me. So I need to make sure that they're okay. Like that's part of the safety, I think.
Well, and then to come back to just the whole,
it just takes one nut job,
intimacy, right?
To make you go, wait a minute. Yeah, I've had to do that. Like I've had
when
a couple
two
stalker
people
dudes
are intimate, you're letting your guard down. You're allowing the other person to. You're saying, I trust you enough to be intimate with you, and intimacy is a very close thing, and for both people,
it doesn't get any closer than that.
No, and for me, I it does something to you. The minute you're intimate with somebody, it changes the whole dynamic.
You guys are changed.
Unless, like you said, you're just in it for the sex, and you label it. Look, this is all this is. We're just going to be, sex partners, and we could still hang out, go to dinners and stuff, but this is all it is. We're never going to be in a relationship. But you got to wrap your head around that, because then if you're looking for a more intimate relationship, then you're going to know, well, maybe this isn't the right thing for me, because if I get into this, I'm kind of cutting myself off from if I do meet someone that does want to be in a relationship. So this whole topic and conversation is very, very loaded. I think there's so many different, dynamics you could go into as far as, female, male, intimate.
I think because I just said it changes everything. It never goes back to the same. And I take that back, because I think if you come at it in the beginning, I just have an experience where I did with someone, and before that we had such a solid relationship, friendship. We never did it again, but our friendship didn't really change. It only changed when they got into a relationship with somebody else, and that person, I think, made us not be friends anymore, that's a problem.
Right.
But he and I were fine. You know what I mean? Like we somehow, and I think it's because it was already established, and we were both really honest during the whole thing. It's mutual respect has been the thing, because we had a mutual respect with me and my 5-year man. Like we had a mutual respect for each other. We didn't sit there and it was just really cool. Have there been people who are not like that? Absolutely. This is why it's good to wait. I like to wait as well now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
unless it's somebody and I'm in Palm Springs and I meet them
at a bar, and they say,
Hey,
take me to bed or lose me forever. I mean, yeah, what are we doing?
One of the best lines ever.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got to either step up, man up, or you say, you know what?
Woman up.
Yeah, or woman up, or you just...
I would kind of love it if a guy goes, take me to bed or lose me forever. And you've been like looking at each other. I don't know if anybody's ever... Yeah.
One of the best lines ever.
Yeah. In fact, if you have any of your cool lines that you want to put in the comments of somebody that gave you a good line, please, we'd like to know.
You know, if someone's giving you a good line, let us know. I'm just saying.
Checking out the plumbing.
Right?
Someone's been wiring the plumbing. No, and also if you have any thoughts on anything in this, please let us know. Like
absolutely.
Do you wait? Do you or if you don't want to get that intimate, do you go up to the door for dates? So yeah.
Pick your poison.
Talk about what you want to talk about.
And that's not to say, we are who we are innately, but I've always said in multiple conversations with you that we are all programmed as well. So, a lot of...
That's what you can change.
Right, because a lot of us, what we do as adults is a direct result of how we were programmed and how we were raised and nurtured, natured, vice versa. So...
There's movies too, though, because we learn things from movies. Like The Bronx Tale really changed things for a lot of people because you see that great scene,
right?
And you
with
learn,
the door.
If you didn't learn in your childhood because you didn't have a good role model in the home, or you had a single parent and you didn't see dating very much or you saw dating of the wrong kind, like the constant kind or whatever it is. Sometimes I got my stuff from movies where I go, I love what they're doing there, and I implement that into my life.
I think the art of chivalry has been lost. It's an old-fashioned upbringing.
No, I don't know, because it's struggling.
It's struggling.
But I know that women still like it because I can't tell you how many women have told me, he opened the door for me. And they say it like it's A, surprising, and B, the most important thing, they loved it. So if you're a guy listening to this, they do want you to open the door. Most of the time, we did talk about there's a couple who are going to be like, yeah, I don't need the door open. And that's fine. Just let them walk away. But most of the time, women want the door open.
I just think in general...
And I think it's special.
If you're going to court somebody and if you're going to pick someone up and you're going to take them out on a date, I think you should be the man, be a gentleman, be chivalrous, court, go to the door.
Or if you're a woman dating women, you can still...
Well, my point is whoever is the one initiating the date and saying, I'm going to come and pick you up, should be the one to kind of...
You just make
the effort.
Yeah.
Make the effort.
Show your care in a lot of different ways.
It's the same thing. We've had this discussion, but it's the same thing when you go to the door of a restaurant. You open the door for the woman, or when you go to sit down, take her coat and ask, the maitre d' to hang the coat for you or whatever. I know I've had experiences where, and we've talked about this, where women have not appreciated that or not like that because they're more of that, kind of women's lib kind of thing. And
yeah, but let's leave them over there. And that's fine. They get to do what they want.
But that shouldn't change who you are, is my point.
Oh, yeah.
Don't allow anybody to change your good-naturedness, your authenticity, the way you are as a person. And if they don't like that, well, then maybe that's the person you say, okay, fine. You don't want me to hold your coat? What are you doing after this? Why don't we just go home and, have sex? I mean, and then you don't have to worry about courting them and, waiting because you're not going to probably see this person again. I mean, I'm just kidding. But,
It's like, well, if you're not going to let me hold your coat, let's just do it.
Right, let's just do it already.
Oh, I was going to ask you, why do you step on the outside? Remember I said, let's talk about why. When you're walking on the outside. I love that. And that I didn't learn about that until somebody did it for me. And they would gently guide me over so that I was on the inside. And
again, that's something that is just innately taught. It's a protection thing. First of all, God forbid there was...
Paint the picture, explain what we're talking about. Well, you're walking on the street.
You're walking on the street. There's buildings on the right, restaurants, whatever, and then the parked cars are on the left, or just traffic. Cars are going by on the left. If you're the man, you always take the side that is by the traffic. God forbid there's an accident or something should go wrong. You're putting a shield between you and her, showing her once again that you're you're stepping up, you're being protective. And women notice that too. And it is a common thing for men to do. We don't think about it because, again,
it's also for pedestrian traffic. So you keep her closer to the building.
Yes.
So that when the pedestrians walk by, you are next to them, not her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're putting a buffer.
It's the shield. It's the shield you mentioned.
Right. You're just showing her, look, I've got you. And you have the whole situation. You, as a man, I think you need to, this is another topic, but awareness. We need to be more aware, men and women. When you're walking down the street, you see 2 or 3 guys coming at you, you get a weird feeling, that sixth sense. Take your woman and cross the street. You don't need to even get in any kind of confrontation, or if somebody makes a rude remark. I remember a while back, I was, when I first moved here, and I was with a girlfriend of mine, actually, and we were going up the elevator at the House of Blues to the foundation room, the VIP room, when it was there. It's not there anymore.
Right. I love that place.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're in the elevator, and it was about half a dozen people in the elevator, and this one guy out of nowhere starts like hitting on my girlfriend. I mean, I'm holding her hand and he's saying, "You got a nice ass," this, that, and the other thing.
Oh my goodness.
And she looked at him, looked at me, and I immediately put her on the other side of me, and I said, "What are you doing?" to the guy. And he's like, "What do you mean? She's got a nice ass." I said, "Dude, where is your respect for women?" I said, "Number one, just in general." I go, "But do you, what am I, cardboard? You don't see that I'm here and I'm with this woman?" I said, "That's inappropriate." I wasn't looking to get in a confrontation with the guy,
right?
But I was also not going to sit there and not step up.
Yeah.
Because then, you don't step up. And a lot of women like to be the one to say, "Hey, you don't need to protect me. But again, where I come from, you step up and say, "Hey, that's inappropriate. Stop." And that's all you need to say. Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop it. We're not going to do this. We're not going to get in this fist fight or whatever, but you need to stop. You're being inappropriate. And I don't like it. Neither does she. I mean, my point is you need to.
What did he say?
I mean, he made another rude comment or some shit.
He was just a jerk.
He was just a jerk.
He was trying to provoke.
He was either trying to, test the boundaries in the relationship, how strong it was, or he was just one of those guys that might have been drunk and being an asshole and can't hold his tongue. But, that and they're looking for trouble. I don't look for trouble. No. I will avoid it. You start mounting off, I'll tell you stop, and I'll walk away, and I'll go somewhere.
I love that you're like, stop. You did like a slap.
Yeah, stop.
I'll give you stop.
You want a fresh one? I think you need one. But anywho,
Anywho.
Right. I mean, my point is, we as men need to be, chivalrous. I think we need to be authentic, but I also think we need to step up to the plate when it is appropriate to, protect the honor of your woman, and in this day and age, it's a little bit more equal now because women will speak up for themselves. And sometimes that's even actually works better with a man when a woman says it, because the guy's not going to get probably rough. If you step in as a man and say, "Hey, stop, that's inappropriate." "Oh, who do you think you are?" And all of a sudden now you're, puffing chests and everything. And I'm like, look, take, what happened with you and your dad, bro? Like, did you not get
what happened with you and your dad?
Right? Is there something going on here that I don't know about?
You didn't get a little love.
Right. You obviously weren't nurtured as a kid.
And they didn't give them to you?
And then too, you
did a good job.
I'll be honest with you. Another way to shut a situation down like that, you get off the elevator, you say, "Dude, can I buy you a drink? Let me buy you a drink." You buy him a drink and you walk the fuck away.
That's
what I mean? There's so many ways to diffuse.
Yeah.
In this day and age,
I love that.
I think it's better. Let me
buy you a drink.
Yeah. How can I diffuse?
Why would you buy me a drink?
Right. How can I diffuse this situation as opposed to escalate it? You do not need to escalate anything where it's going to get into a physical altercation, because nobody wins. Nobody wins. Even the guy that knocks the other guy out, you didn't win. You didn't win. So, and people are going to say what they're going to say. Talk all you want. Say what you want, bro. But, take that somewhere else.
Take it somewhere else. Otherwise, You want another one?
Right.
How did you do it?
You want a fresh one?
You want a fresh one? If you're not watching this on video, he's pretending to smack somebody.
And the worst is when
but doing it so nonchalantly.
Well, you smack a guy, actually slap a guy. That's so embarrassing as a man when you get slapped as opposed to when you get lit the fuck up with a punch. You know,
that's interesting.
Yeah, but you can do some
Which
damage.
we're not recommending doing.
Yeah, no. But anyway.
But if you do it, it'll shock them.
Right. So to come full circle. Always try to be a gentleman. Always try to do right. Get out of the car. Do the right thing.
And then wait, and you're waiting to get to know them before you do the thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's
good advice.
I didn't used to do that when I was like in my late 20s, early 30s. I was like, woo, how you doing? And now I just do it because sometimes people go a little crazy. It's just better to because I'm that amazing. No. They're like, I can't stop calling her. No, but people just go nuts. They could do anything for any reason. So it's kind of better to get to know them, I think. But that's just me. You guys get to do what you want. Thank you so much for tuning in.
What the what?
What? Follow us on all this stuff. And we can't wait to read what you have to say about this one. Have a great day and a great you.